Morning, America. How we doing today? We are out checking circles, checking irrigation. Kirk, I guess wanted to sleep in this morning. I don't know. It's weekend. It's a Saturday, and we were putting away heads and the combine heads, cleaning up equipment, getting ready to store it till fall, and run across a little issue with the combine head, with the draper head, and there was a piece of metal chunked in, a chunk of metal stuck in it. Couldn't figure out where it came from. We got to looking a little bit more, kind of find out there was a part inside that broke. I'll explain that later when I got it in front of me. We can explain it a little bit easier. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how the whole system works, but anyway, there's a piece of metal in there, and it was broken. So we needed to run up and get parts. So he called up there yesterday and ordered parts. Said they'd be ready today. So he sent me up to get parts, and he's, oh, by the way, on the way, just swing by and check that irrigation. Remember the old Minneapolis Moline, the old tractor motor? So anyway, I stopped by there and checked all that stuff out, make sure it was working. And now I'm heading up to Hoxie to pick up parts. So once I get these parts, we'll get back to the shop, and we got a tire to fix. We've got this head to fix, and then just continue cleaning up equipment, putting it away. The old combine has to be roaded up to Hoxie someday here in the next day or two, probably Monday maybe. They're going to road it up there. I guess the transmission was having a little issue, and they wanted to get that checked out. Because if they don't, they'll need that combine during harvest, fall harvest, and that's when it'll break. So now's the time. Get the maintenance done. Do your maintenance when you don't need the equipment, so that when you do need it, it works. Okay, we got all the parts. I thought I might go back around here and look, see what kind of used equipment they've got, see if there's anything worth talking about. Maybe I show you an implement that you guys have never seen. We'll see what we got here. All right here are header trailers. This is what you put when your combine is way too wide to go down the road, so you take the header off, you set it on these header trailers. These are brand new ones, and then you can pull it behind a pickup. Actually, you can pull them behind the combine if you'd like, but most pull them behind a pickup, so there's two separate units. Up here is row headers. This is for your row crops, like well, they're all row crops if you think about it, but this is for your wide row crops, like your corn and your milo and stuff like that. And so is this one here. This whole row here, there's a whole bunch of them. Back in the back's the combines, and right there's some sprayers. There's some silage choppers. Row heads, row heads, row heads. There's some mowers. Right there's some just big mowers, like you see the highway crews mowing the interstate medians and stuff like that. This is a scraper for moving dirt around. It's no different than like a snow blade on the front of a pickup or something. It's just a bigger one you pull behind your tractor. It's for moving dirt around, and like in your field where water rains and it runs down and kind of starts making a channel, you can use that to fill that channel in and smooth it out so you don't have ruts when you go into harvest time. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay, here's the other thing. Here's rakes, different things like that. Don't know what that is. I'll have to ask Kirk what that is. That's a dirt mover or earth mover you pull behind your tractor. But here's the big one. This is what Kirk wants. This is his tractor's a 310, or no, his is a 370. So his tractor's bigger than this one. It's a 310. His is a 370. But right there is the monster he wants, right there. And 1300 Kinsey. And that's the newest one. And I think he told me that's a $130,000 machine right there. 110 if it had tracks, it'd be 130. It don't look like it, does it? Just it's a trailer with big wheels and a box on it. But they get it. That's it. That's the big one. I'm not sure if that's exactly one he'll get. I doubt he'll buy a new one. He'll probably buy a used one, and it'll probably be a different brand than that. But the Kinseys are supposedly the Cadillac of them. And then here's the updated version of Kirk's Combine. This is an 8240. His is an 8120. Yeah, 8120? 8120. I think it's an 81. Anyway, this is an 8240, which would be the next. It's the same generation. It's just next year's updated model. As you can see up here on the back, is the camera pointing at it here? Let me see here. Right in this area. I'm trying to see right in that area right there. See that big old canister? That's the the emissions, diesel emissions on semis, like the diesel emissions I'm always complaining about on semis. They're doing it on farm equipment now. I think it's like a Gen 4 or Class 4 or something like that. But anyway, that's why Kirk bought his when he did, because it doesn't have all that nonsense on there. But anyway, that's the new one. That's a brand new one, and I don't know. I'll have to ask Kirk the dollar amount, how much that thing probably costs. I'm guessing close to around $500,000, something like that. Let's see what else we got up here. Flatbed trailer. I don't know. Swather. This is a hay buster. What they do is big round tub up there, they throw those great big bales of hay. They bale them, and then when they're ready to feed them to the cattle, they sit there and throw them in there, and they mix different kinds of this kind of hay and that kind of, let's say, alfalfa or whatever, and they'll chop it up and make silage out of it. Okay, and that's a hay chopper, basically a great big blender. Okay, these are different versions of that. I'm not sure exactly. This is the back side of the row crops or row headers. Here's the combines. There's a 7240 that's a little bit smaller than Kirk's, and 81 or 2188 that's a little smaller than Jared's. There's 8388. Didn't see the number. 2388. That's the same size as Jared's right there. 72. Here's an 8240, just like the one that was down the road. Here's another 8240. These are used ones, it looks like. No? Yeah, these are used ones. So they'd be a little bit less. And what do we got over here? Oh, this is discs. Everybody kind of knows what a disc is. Oh, here, I'm going to explain this to you. I'm going to get out of the truck and explain this to you. Kirk's got some of these. These are different kinds of sweeps. Actually, these are small ones. I think they have a different name for them. But these sweeps, what they do is they go down below, basically just like a hoe in your garden. You have a weed, and you have a hoe, and you drag it along just under the surface of the ground, and it cuts the bottom of the weed out, basically the root. Cuts the weed off right below the surface. That's what these do, is they go just below the surface, about 3 or 4 or 5 inches, and they cut the bottom of the weed off, and the weed's up here. It cuts that off, and then the weed just kind of like sits there and goes, wow, what happened? Where'd my food go? Where'd my water go? And it starts withering away and dies. That way you don't have to spray chemicals. So this is what they call farming your ground. You use these, okay? What's this brown box here, or this gray box? Anybody have an idea what that gray box is? Fuel. That's a fuel cart. So you can top off your combines and stuff like that in the field. We don't have one, or Kirk, I think he has one, but it's an old one or something. He uses the box on the back of the service truck. There's a big fuel tank on the back of the service truck. I have no idea what that is. That's some kind of a planter. This is for storing chemicals and fertilizer out in the field. They bring that out empty, set it down, and then a truck, a big semi, will come out and deliver fertilizer out to your field. So you don't have to run all the way back into town just to top off your fertilizer. And these are for towing behind your planters and stuff for fertilizer. Here's another great big, this is a Brent grain cart. And here's a couple more grain carts. There's a Deluxe, a Demco, another Demco, a Demco. These are all smaller. These are only 1,000. Actually, they're bigger than Kirk's. Kirk's is an 800, so this is actually bigger than Kirk's. But he wants that big 1,300. So what else we got? We got augers over here. We got air seeders. That's what plants wheat and stuff, or just about all your different crops. You know, with that. Here's some more row headers and combines in the back. There's a Draper head. That's just like Kirk's, but it's, instead of sitting down, it's setting up on end for transport. Brought it down on a flatbed truck, I'm sure. That's a small planter, or a seeder, air seeder. Let's see. Here's some more combines. But you get the idea. It's just, this is where farmers go to shop. This is like the used car lot for farmers. Some different tractors and stuff. Here's an old International combine. Actually, no, this one here is a 1480. For my grandpa, that was brand spanking fancy new. He never had anything like that. His best combine never had a cab on it. So how times have changed. So